What up, y'all? It's your boy. I'm back again. It's going to be another shorty. This one is about my favorite teachers up Milford when I was in high school. Of course, number one was Mr. Goff, who was our band director. He came up there. Mr. Goff's first year at Milford was my 12th grade year. So I only got to have 1 year with Mr. Goff, but he turned our entire band program around. He really pushed the marching band. Before he got there, our previous band director was more focused on the concert band. But Mr. Goff really pushed the marching band. We got to do some things with Mr. Goff that we never did with the previous band director. I mean, a lot of different events we was able to do. We was able to do Morgan's homecoming. We did that parade, and that was the first time I'd ever did that. Only time I'd ever did it. The Morgan parade, and we got the I think we might have been the first band. We might have been the lead off band. If it wasn't us, I know it was either us or City, because there was kind of a beef. They felt some kind of way about a county band being out there playing for the Morgan homecoming parade, and it was either we were the first band or it was City. We did a lot of other concerts or whatever that was like in like college stadiums and stuff like that. Stuff that we had never did with the previous band director. So Goff took us to a whole different level. And after we left, he really, we was the first ones, but after we left, they really took off. Mr. Goff did an excellent job with that band. My second favorite teacher was Mr. Roberts, who was the previous band director. Mr. Roberts was cool as I don't know what. This dude was like, he used to let me hold his wrestling tapes. I used to always order the WWF pay-per-views, but I never ordered the WCW pay-per-views. Mr. Roberts he ordered everything. And he would record them, and he would let me watch it. So he would record them, and then bring the tape man and let me watch pay-per-views. They didn't charge me nothing. So Mr. Roberts was real cool. And like I said, he was more concerned, and prioritized the concert band. So we did like all the concert band competitions and stuff like that, going around different high schools when they would have these events. High schools that I had never been to, other than to go do these events, these competitions with him. So the band was a whole different band under Mr. Roberts versus under Mr. Goff. And the two of them combined, I think we were able to compete in everything. Like I've been to every concert band competition you could think of. We did all the marching band competitions with Mr. Goff. So I had a lot of fun in my music, my music and being in the band. And I ended up doing all of them: concert band, marching band, pep band, jazz band, everything. Those are the funnest times in Milford for me, was being in the band. Another favorite teacher was Miss Penske. Miss Penske that we had Miss Penske our 12th grade year. She taught our DHB class, like a social studies class. But the cool thing about her was that it seemed like she was our age. She wasn't even old. I think Miss Penske might have been she couldn't have been more than 25 years old. It was like she might have graduated from college and immediately started working at Milford, because she wasn't that old. She was mad cool. It was almost like having a fellow student as our teacher. Most of us still remain in contact with her on social media, on Facebook. She can't be that much older than us. She had to be within 5 years of us. So we're 17, 18 years old. She had to be 22, 23, 24 when she was up there. But she was mad cool. That was one of my favorites. But I think my all-time favorite teacher, and he's my favorite teacher for like all the wrong reasons, had to be Mr. Boswick. Mr. Boswick, I don't know who in the world authorized him to be a teacher. This man had to be the dumbest, craziest teacher I've ever had in my life. This man, I had Mr. Boswick when I was in 10th grade. And I remember we had him 5th period. Because he had us 5th period, and then he had like 6th period. Both those were like class 95 classes. So it was like we had him 5th, and then he had his 6th period class. And both classes was rowdy, you know, and it was like to the point where like the teachers that was like next door across the hall would come over and complain we too noisy in there, because he commanded zero respect. This man, he would just get up there, we all up in there, everybody talking, doing whatever. He just up there like teaching basically to himself. He just ran a lecture hall for 45 minutes talking to himself. He wasn't talking to us because ain't nobody paying him no mind. I remember we was sitting up in class, man. I remember me and Chris Varda used to sit in the back. No, Chris was in the back row. I used to sit in the row right in front of him. He sat directly behind me. And me and Chris used to just trip the whole time, man. We're just sitting up in there. Chris would be cracking on him, calling him all kind of stuff. We used to call him Fred Flintstone, or we used to say all kind of stuff. Chris had me laughing the whole time we was in that class. We would just be tripping. Everybody was in that class tripping. It had to be hard for like the students that really cared, that was trying to get good grades and really wanted to do their work. We had some smart people in that class. That class was unsuitable to do work in, because we were just tripping the whole time. Nobody paid this man no mind. And then what was the funniest part is that when he would just have enough, because it got to the point where we would like just start throwing stuff at him. He would be up there writing stuff on the backboard, just basically preaching to himself. With his back turned to us. Man, we would be throwing like balled up pieces of paper at him. Doing all kind of stuff to this man. And then he would get mad. Like somebody might throw a piece of paper and hit him in his head with it. And then he would get mad and turn around and just start screaming at us. And we just sit there looking at him, and then it'd be somebody just start busting out laughing while he's zapping out. I mean, I don't know who hired him. Whoever hired him should have got fired. He had no business teaching nowhere. And then he wore the same clothes every day. It was like, this man it was like a Monday and Wednesday outfit. It was like on Mondays, he would wear like, Mondays and Wednesdays, he would wear like this gray sports coat, like some navy blue pants and a white shirt. He wore that exact same outfit like every Monday and Wednesday. And on Tuesdays and Thursdays, he wore like, it was the reverse. It was like a navy blue suit jacket and like some gray pants with a white shirt. And then on Friday, he had his little Friday outfit where it was like this darker gray, like a darker gray suit jacket with some navy blue pants and his white shirt. He wore the exact same, it was the same thing every week, the whole time we was there. He had like he dressed like he was homeless, but he a teacher. He wore the exact same stuff every week, the same days. This man, he was my favorite. It got to the point where he knew he wasn't getting to us. So I remember one day he passed out like those little note cards. You write notes on or whatever when you ready to do a presentation or whatever. He gave everybody a note card and told us that write your name on it and write what grade you think you deserve in this class. And that's what I'm going to give you. And that's what we did. And when we got our report card, that's the grade that was on it. I honestly don't think I did no homework. I don't remember even doing classwork. I don't remember even turning no work in. I don't think I did any work. I'm not sure if anybody did any work in this class. Everybody who had Mr. Boswick should have failed. I can't tell you not one thing that man taught us. But I wasn't going to write an A on that card because that would just be absurd to me, knowing I ain't do no work at all. So I wrote a B on there. I got a B in his class on my report card. I ain't do no work. I don't know how he was able to do that, how he could justify giving me a B or giving anybody a passing grade in his class. Because our class, I don't think nobody did any work. And from what I heard, his 6th period class was even worse than ours. So I know we ain't doing no work. So we ain't doing no work. I know they ain't doing no work. How did anybody pass this class? And my social studies class, which he taught, I think it was world history. That was one of the only classes I actually passed my 10th grade year. Because that was the year I got put out. And his class, my social studies class, was one of the only classes that I actually passed. Because my grades were so high that, because once you get put out, you get put out. So I basically failed everything for the rest of the school year. So they went by, whatever grade you had, and they merged that with the E's that you got. I got like E's the whole 3rd and 4th quarter. So, it's one of the only classes that I passed. I passed his class. I failed. That's how I ended up going to night school my senior year, because I failed English. And a few other classes. I failed English. I failed my math class. I failed almost everything. But one of the only classes that I did pass was social studies. And Mr. Boswick was my teacher. They had to have fired him. They had to. I don't remember him being there our 11th grade year. Of course, when I came back in 11th grade, it was so much change in Milford. Like, the whole office staff was different. I left there, it was still like, when I left in 10th grade, it was like Mr. Hoffman, I think, was the principal. You had Miss Hill, Acock, was it Mr. Engel, something like that. Those were the principal and assistant principals when I left. When I come back, it was like Miss Umba and Garrett. Miss Brent was there. And Brent was, at that time, she was, not only was she assistant principal, she was also, she actually taught English 11. So a lot of people had her as a teacher. Because I didn't take English 11 in Milford. When I came back 11th grade, they made me take English 10 again during the day. Like, the whole office staff was changed. A lot of teachers were not there that was there the year before when I left. And then they got rid of even more teachers at the end of our 11th grade year. They ended up getting rid of Mr. Roberts. And that's how golf came in our 12th grade year. But, that man, if he hadn't have passed me for social studies, it probably would have made me just full-fledged repeat the 10th grade. There probably would have been no way I could have made up my courses. I was able to make up classes through night school so that I could graduate on time. But yeah, he was one of the only classes. I only passed like 2 or 3 classes, and Mr. Bostwick class was one of them. Did no work in this class and passed it. And that's why he's one of my favorite teachers. That man had us write on note cards what we thought our grade should be. And I wrote a B on there. And I got a B first quarter. I got a B second quarter. Every time I got a report card from him, I got a B in his class. I got put out somewhere around February or March. So it was like third quarter when I left. Yeah. But I got B's like the first and second quarter. And Mr. Bostwick class did absolutely no work. I'm sure a lot of y'all that went to Milford had that man at some point, and y'all could attest to just how useless he was as a teacher. I don't know how he got hired, and I can't even imagine that if they fired him from Milford, that somebody else hired him. That man should have been a cab driver for Diamond Cabs in West Baltimore, not teaching social studies to high school students. Okay. He was a complete loser, yo. Mr. Bostwick, my favorite teacher overall, because he let us tell him what our grade was going to be, and he made it happen. He made it happen. Oh, hey. Mr. Bostwick, my #1 favorite teacher in Milford. Mr. Bostwick. All right, I'm out.